Most of us are concerned about making changes in our lives that will cause improvements in our life in some way. We want better health, or we want a better relationship, or we want more gratification in our work, or better income, or something of that nature. And I think most of us look to external aspects of that sometimes when we think about making the changes. Well, yes, sometimes external changes are important, but I think the first place to begin is always inside. Because if we don't change the inside first and try to change the outside, we're maybe fighting against ourselves. Because often changes that we say we want to make don't occur because we're dragging anchors. It's like we're trying to sail a boat, wanting to go in a certain direction, but not being aware that we might have 3 or 4 anchors at the back of the boat holding us back. And if we don't deal with those anchors, we can't make those changes. So we might say, well, what are those anchors? And the most common ones we have might be, I'd say, threefold. The first one would be early traumas or painful experiences we had in our lives. Those experiences are recorded in our survival brain called the limbic system. It's like encoding some information there, much like in a computer. Since the brain's a prototype of the computer, we can look at it back the other way and look at the computer and see how the brain works. And so those encodings of information there where I was not listened to, I was not valued, I was not talked to, I was not respected, I might have been abandoned, I might have been mistreated, I might have been abused emotionally or physically or sexually, any of those kind of things, that information stays there in the limbic system. And you might say it serves as a tremendous opposition to our more positive desires. It's quite well known that when we have a lot of traumas in our early life, it sets us up for adult illnesses, often early adult life. Or when we have adult traumas, those that are uncleared set us up for illnesses as well. Those same kind of traumas tend to attract to themselves like a magnetic force field. And in relationships, we'll attract responses. The very thing we hated, where we were abused as a child, is the very thing we'll attract, as long as those traumas are in place. And then out of those traumas, those painful experiences grow belief systems. They're conclusions that we draw. And that's much like software in a computer program. That software will only print out what's in that program. And so if I believe I'm going to be rejected, what am I going to have in my relationships over and over again? Is an experience of rejection. If I was abused as a child, I'll keep picking partners who will abuse me, or employers who will abuse me. And I'll stay there complaining about it all over the place, but I'll stay there and stay there. And on it goes. Or if I believe I can't succeed, I believe I don't have talent, I believe I'm not good enough, if those grew out of my experiences, as long as those beliefs are in place, we're going to find a way to get confirmation of them. The good news is now there are methods that we can use to clear out the effects of those traumas, or to clear out those negative core beliefs, and the thoughts that we rehearse them with. And those would be methods in the field called energy psychology, or sometimes EMDR, which is bilateral stimulation of the brain. And some of the energy psychology methods might be the more popular one, might be the emotional freedom technique, or EFT. Those are highly effective, more than anything I've found in my whole decades of practice, for clearing effects of traumas and clearing out beliefs. Talking about traumas often not only may not clear them, but it often rehearses them and intensifies them. So in that way, talking therapy is not the most desirable thing for clearing out traumas. And often it doesn't even help us change our core beliefs. Sometimes yes, but a lot of times not. But these newer methods that might be, especially the ones that might consist of touching or tapping on some acupressure points while making statements of intentionality, those are very highly effective in clearing out effects of traumas like nothing I've ever seen. And the same thing about core beliefs. If we get those pieces of baggage out of the way, we might say, that we've been carrying, then we free up our energy to go positive in a new direction. And we can actually install new software